Hello, classmates. My name is Frank Alache, and this presentation is on a model of instructional design, andragogy, by Malcolm Knowles, 1913-1997. According to Malcolm Knowles, andragogy is the art and science of adult learning. Thus, andragogy refers to any form of adult learning. Knowles emphasizes that adults are self-directed and expect to take responsibility for decisions. In practical terms, andragogy means the instruction for adults needs to focus more on the process and less on the content being taught. Models assumptions to be discussed in detail are: adults need to know why they need to learn something. They need to learn experientially. The approach learning is as a problem solving. And they learn best when the topic is of immediate value. Let's take a look at some of those assumptions in more detail. Why I need to learn. Adults transition from dependent to self-directed human being. As a person matures, his or her self-concept moves from one of being a dependent personality toward one of being a self-directed human being. Adult learners acquire new information and build upon existing knowledge much more effectively if they are encouraged to explore a topic on their own. Let's take a look at some of the examples that I have here. For instance, in my own experience, I have control of many more things today than when I was younger. Also, recently I watched a TV interview of a Russian actress that was able to learn Spanish almost entirely on her own. These are some examples of a human being transforming from a dependent to a self-directed human being. Next assumption, learning experience. Learning based on experience. As a person matures, he or she accumulates a growing reservoir of experience that becomes an increasing resource for learning. Adult learners have had more time to cultivate life experience and typically have a wider knowledge base. Once again, from my experience, I now know why employers pay minimum wages. Because I have employees of my own, I have experienced the dynamic behind it. Next assumption, orientation to learning problem-solving approach. Adults go from postponed application of knowledge, which is subject-oriented, to immediacy of application, and it is the same as problem-centeredness. As a person matures, his or her time perspective changes from one of postponed application of knowledge to immediacy of application. As a result, his or her orientation toward learning shifts from one of subject-centeredness to one of problem-centeredness. For example, they will not only want to know why they need to acquire specific information, but whether or not that information can be applied in the immediate future. An example from my own would be I currently teach and will apply this learning to solve problems now instead of later. Next assumption, fine-tuning my skills or your skills or adult skills. Will this learning advance my social role? As a person matures, his her readiness to learn become more oriented increasingly to the development of tasks of his or her social roles. My example, I will become a more effective teacher. Let's see what we have so far. To start, planning and evaluation, adult involvement. Experience, including mistakes, should be allowed and fostered. Learning problem-centered rather than content-oriented. Learning subjects relevant to job and personal life. Therefore, adults must have a hand in the design and development of their learning experience. They must be truly an integral part of the development and implementation of the curriculum, as well as of the evaluation process. Experience should be at the root of all learning tasks and activities. Adult learners can take on their own approach when solving problems, which will give them the chance to use their knowledge in a practical way. There will be trial and error involved, which is what makes the overall learning process experience more meaningful and effective. Give adult learners the opportunity to absorb information rather than memorizing it. The content being offered in adult learning courses should be problem-centered. And as adult learners will want to immediately see how the instructions will help them to solve an issue they might encounter. Real-life applications and benefits must be tied to learning. Adult learners need to be able to tie the subject matter to real-world benefits and applications. If they cannot see how a module or activity will give them an advantage in real life or how a particular learning course is going to apply to real-world situations, then they won't be excited about the learning process. Some successful methods of delivery are case studies, role-playing, simulations, and self-evaluations. When using these methods, remember to create learning experiences that offer minimum instruction and maximum autonomy. Include a wide range of instructional design models and theories to appeal to varied experience levels and backgrounds. Utilize social media and online collaboration tools to tie learning to social development. Emphasize how the subject matter is going to solve problems that an adult learner regularly encounters. There must be a valid reason behind every learning course, module, or educational activity. Thank you very much. Thank you. We are at the end of the presentation. Have a great day.